welcome back. Happy Saturday. But we are giving you the first alert for some storms today that could produce some heavy rainfall leading to some isolated flash flooding. So the Weather Prediction Center has highlighted really the areas around the interstate corridor and northward. In the yellow, that's a level 2 out of 4 slight risk for flash flooding throughout the afternoon today. Now, model guidance has backed off a little bit and kind of showing that heavy rainfall potential. The graph model is showing really on average and ½ inch to upwards of 2 inches. These light green bullseyes are 2 inches, but when we get heavy rain moving over the same areas, that's called training storms, we could potentially get rainfall totals near 3, 4, maybe even 5 inches as possible really throughout the afternoon today. So keep that in mind. Now, in terms of rain right now, our first alert radar network not really showing anything near the Baton Rouge metro, but starting to track some coastal showers this morning, making their way inland. So that's really about it for now. But we've got the rain coming through the afternoon. So let's talk about the timing. This is the graph model. So again, models will be different with this timing and kind of placement of the storm. So take that with a grain of salt. As we know, for the past several days, storms have been very scattered in nature. So by lunchtime, I think we'll start to see some scattered showers and storms popping up. Then through the later afternoon, our typical 3, 4 o'clock storms coverage, I think, will be a little bit more widespread. Then off towards the west, you'll notice there's a line of showers and storms that's out ahead of a cold front. So that heads our way around the evening hours, but you'll notice it starts to break apart. So some areas actually might see a little bit of a lull in activity around the early evening. Then we start to see storms and showers popping up again later into the evening. So this is 9 o'clock. Again, it's kind of a broken line with that. Then into the overnight hours and for Easter Sunday, the good news is I think most of the rain will be off towards the coast. We're just going to be dealing with some off and on light shower activities for the morning. This is 10 o'clock. This model is showing most of the rain, again, towards the coast. So I do think for tomorrow, for Easter Sunday, by the time we get to the afternoon, we'll trend drier, but it's still going to be kind of a gloomy day with the cloud cover and also turning cooler behind that cold front throughout the day on Sunday. So for the concern for severe weather, it's really going to be through the afternoon and possibly overnight with that line of storms that moves through. All modes of severe weather will be possible. I think our main concern with any of those stronger storms will be small hail and then some gusty winds. And of course, through the afternoon, the potential for some isolated flash flooding with any of those storms that produce that heavy rainfall. As for Easter Sunday, it's going to be much cooler. I mean, temperatures in the 60s. I only have temperatures climbing into the upper 60s, low 70s. The morning will be the wettest part, and then as we continue throughout the day, we'll trend drier. It's just going to be pretty cloudy, but that's actually what we're seeing right now. Our Sky 9 camera, clouds facing the Children's Hospital. It's warm and muggy to start. Many of us are in the low to mid 70s to start this Saturday morning. So it will be warm again, climbing into the low 80s, scattered showers and storms mainly into the afternoon and going into the evening. So wet really today and overnight. Light rain continuing into the first part of Easter Sunday. Then we'll made it to Easter weekend, but we are giving you the first alert as you may have any outdoor plans for Easter, for the potential for storms that also could produce some heavy rain, especially this afternoon and evening. So the Weather Prediction Center has placed areas really along the interstate corridors and northward up into Mississippi in a level 2 out of 4 slight risk for flash flooding. Elsewhere in the green, that's a level 1 out of 4 marginal risk for some flash flooding. The main concern is storms producing heavy rainfall over the same areas. Now, the models are hinting at showing anywhere from ½ inch to upwards of 2 inches. That's that light green here. Again, very isolated, but for the storms that just move over the same area and that are slow moving, it's possible they could produce upwards 3, 4, maybe even 5 inches of rainfall in some spots. So just keep that in mind that we certainly could see some isolated flash flooding through the afternoon. Now, here locally, not seeing any rain on our first alert radar network, except down towards the south for our coastal parishes. Morgan City getting in on some light to moderate rain right now. Not seeing any lightning, but we will expect scattered showers and storms to pop up into the afternoon. So I'll show you the timing. This is a different model than what I showed you earlier. This is the HRR model, or the HRRR, showing maybe an isolated shower popping up later this morning. But really, once we get into around lunchtime, we'll start to see some storms popping up, becoming more scattered later into the afternoon. Off towards the west, you see all this. That is storms and rain popping up ahead of a cold front that's going to head our way. So once we get into the evening hours, some areas actually might see a lull in activity, and then the bulk of the activity, well, heads down towards the south and east. But the good news is it looks like it really breaks apart. So expect really rain off and on into the overnight hours. Now, the good news is once we get into Easter Sunday, I do think we won't have to worry about any storms. It'll just be kind of that light nuisance rain off and on into the morning hours. Then by the time we get into the late morning, afternoon, I think most of it will be off towards the coast. It's just going to be a gloomy day and also cooler. So cloud cover for the second half of the day, but the good news is we should be on the drier side. But with that, with the storms this afternoon and into the evening along that cold front, some of them have the potential to be on the stronger to severe side. This is really for areas north and east of the Baton Rouge Metro and that level 1 out of 5 marginal risk for severe weather. The main concern really with any of those will be gusty winds or the potential for some small hail. But for Easter Sunday, what I have right now is I think the wettest part of the day, unfortunately, will be the morning, off and on light rains. But by the time we get into the afternoon, maybe you have some lunchtime plans, I think it'll be more isolated. We'll just turn cloudy and gloomy. But also note the temperatures much cooler for Easter Sunday, so you may want the light jacket. Cloudy and gloomy to start this Saturday morning. It's also on the warmer side, 74 degrees at the Baton Rouge Metro Airport. We'll continue to climb back into the 80s through the afternoon, watching for scattered showers and storms right on through the evening hours and overnight. Lingering rains going into Easter Sunday, but the good news is we get a little bit of a cool down. Look, afternoon highs in the 70s going to Tuesday and Wednesday. But for the back end of the work week, yeah, we climb back into those 80s, so warm and then those afternoon storms.